Hey everyone, welcome. I'm MisterBo, and we have yet another batch of brand new Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled images to take a look at. This week we've got an image of Polar Pass, we've got an image of Papus Pyramid, and we have an image of Dingo Canyon. We're going to be taking a look at them and comparing them as closely as we can do to the original Crash Team Racing. Now this week, these images didn't come from our usual sources of Beanox or Crash Bandicoot over on Twitter. Instead, these are coming from the Nintendo UK website, who now has Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled up on their site with the release date of June 21st. So it would seem that the Switch version is going to be releasing the same day as the PS4 and Xbox version, but until we get official confirmation from either Beanox or Activision, I would just maybe wait and see. So without further ado, let's hop into our first image, and that is Polar Pass. So here it is, the massive tree in Polar Pass. Now you might be thinking to yourself, wait, wasn't this just a giant ice block with a polar bear in it before? Well, that is actually just before this one. In the original track, you have the sort of figure 8. The first obstacle you go around is indeed that ice block with the polar bear in it. And then the second one, which I didn't really notice until I went back and looked, is just an old tree. Obviously that tree doesn't have a tree house in it with doors or a little walkway around the top, but it is a dead old tree, and well, this just brings it a little bit more life, and you'll probably notice it this time when you're driving around it. So I've gone into Polar Pass and I've tried to line up the camera as best as I could. It's a little bit tricky, obviously there are some camera angles used in these images that you just can't replicate in the original, but here is what this area looked like in the original. Nothing too special, you kind of just drive past it not thinking much of it. And then here is that image again, and as you can see, it just brings a lot more life to the world. It makes you question, well, who lived here, and are they selling it because it's now a racetrack and you've got people driving past it all the time? I think this is one of those changes that I'm happy to see. Now, without looking back at the trailer and all the previous images, I think this is the first look we've had at a juiced up potion in CTR. Obviously nothing special, but it's worth pointing out. So from there, we can then look at the Papus Pyramid screenshot. Obviously, we did get a fairly good look at Papus Pyramid in the original trailer, but this is a nice new image where we can see Coco, Cortex, Polar and Crash. This is at the top of the pyramid, so probably one of the trickiest parts of the track where you have to try and make those sharp turns. Obviously the last turn, if you stay close to the edge on the left, there is a boost, and then you go down onto that road with the sort of piranha plants that are going to eat you if you drive too close to them. In the background, we can see the person in the boat going up the waterfall. We did briefly see that in the original trailer, and we can just see there's a lot more lush life in this track. It's a lot more golden. One thing I'm a little disappointed to see, but it might be in other areas of the track, is the image of Papu himself. Obviously the boss tracks always had an image of that boss on that track, so Rue's Tube had a picture of Ripperoo around the track, Papus Pyramid had Papu, Dragon Mines had Komodo Joe, and Hot Air Skyways had Pinstripe up on the hot air balloons. So fingers crossed we still do have an image of Papu plastered around the map in certain areas, because I think that just brings a little bit more life and tells you, yeah, this is the boss's track. So just like with the other image, here is my best attempt at lining up that shot in the original. Again, pretty hard. This one was probably the hardest out of the three images, but comparing between them, you can just see the difference straight away. There's a lot more detail, a lot more plants. The waterfall in the background obviously looks a lot more detailed than it does in the original. And there's a lot more color in this track this time around. We've got like blue colors, we've got little bits of red, yellow and gold all in the stonework, which I think is pretty cool. And then the final image we got is of Dingo Canyon, and is this image here of Crash himself. Down the bottom of the first ramp, we have Tiny, we have Cortex, and we have Coco in the background there. We get a pretty good close-up look at a Wumpa Fruit crate. You can see the Wumpa Fruit are just crammed in there. There's not really much to go on here. We can see there's a few cactuses. I think the one noticeable change is that going down that hill on the right hand side, or to the left as we're looking at it, there is now a wooden fence. Before it was just sort of stone and you couldn't see out, so maybe they've just sort of made it a little bit more open. Dingo Canyon is a track that we've seen little bits of before in the trailers, and we've had a screenshot before, but hopefully we'll start to see more of these tracks in the next month. Here is the comparison between the new image and the original. This one was a little bit tricky again. I was trying to line up just exactly where Crash was. I thought he was on the second stone area in the little bit of water down the bottom of the hill, but I think he might be just on the first bit, and it's just a weird angle. But here's as close as I could get to the original compared to the new version. It's a lot more brighter, a lot more open. Again, I think all the changes that Beanox have made keep to the original, but also give it a little bit more life to it. So there you have it. Those are the three brand new screenshots. I'd love to know in the comments below which one of those three screenshots gets you the most excited. Is it the Polar Pass one, the Papus Pyramid, or the Dingo Canyon one? Which one of those tracks was your favourite in the original? Let me know in the comments below. I think we're pretty close to getting a brand new trailer for this game soon. We're almost nearly 4 months away, so I think in February we'll definitely be getting either a brand new trailer or just a solid piece of gameplay of one of these tracks. When we do get some solid gameplay of a track, if we do before launch or if not, I will be doing comparison drive-throughs of both the tracks as best as I can do to get them pretty identical so you can see the comparison of the whole track. But there you have it. Hopefully we get some more stuff next week. It seems like we're getting screenshots every week, which is exciting to see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to give the like button a big old hug. You can subscribe for more gaming content and coverage. And if you do, boop that bell icon so you're notified when my future videos go live. But thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you later. Bye bye.